first thought, submit spirit to form matter. Our celestial humanity arrives, awaking in a dream, an inception of our reality. So we live, we love, and then there is music. So we dance, we sing, we praise, we reflect. In the infinite in between, the now that was, faces dance in our dreams. Some familiar, some
a single
cosmic composition. In the irrelevance of this time, we realize the passion of the random action, learning the lesson that the brotherhood of man is far more important than the ego of any individual. Imagination becomes the sound of thought, traveling at the speed of light. So we paint on the canvas of our ephemeral encounters with a masterpiece of memory that lives in the eternity of a child's.
Hey, brother.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's it been treating you?
You know, not bad, all things considered. It could be way worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The music has been very, very good for me.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
So, let me get situated here.
Sure. How have you been?
I've been pretty good. I'll take that back. I've been greatly blessed and highly favored.
All right. That's a beautiful thing to hear.
Yeah, because I had COVID about last month. I didn't have it, but I got tested positive, and the Lord blessed me that I didn't have any symptoms.
Wow.
I didn't have a headache. I didn't have a cough. I didn't have anything. And so I was grateful to that, and I gave much praise for that, and that's why I do my art, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the one thing. And then I got a job. I'm working at the VA, and everything's going well, and so I'm grateful for that, so that's the thing with that. So just grateful. Gratitude is my attitude.
Yeah, that is a blessing indeed. I'm really glad to hear. I'm sorry that you got COVID, but
yeah, I mean, it was more than likely to happen working in the hospital, and like I said, I was blessed to make it through all of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so let's get right into this. You ready?
I'm ready, sir.
Okay. First question, why is music so critical to the healing of humanity, and why is it so important that we as I like to term as superheroes or artists be mindful of our frequencies?
Well, there's healing in those frequencies. I can't offer the scientific reasoning behind it, but I know just from personal experience how it resonates with me in different styles. Resonate with different frequencies and evoke different emotions. And they aid us in processing our thoughts, our emotions. It aids in our mental health. um, music is absolutely essential to survival,
Indeed.
in my humble opinion.
Indeed. Thank you for that. Thank you. Yeah, that's how I feel about it as well. That's a synopsis, a simple synopsis that covers all the bases right there. So next question. Who are some of your inspirations?
I have a wide range of inspirations that are derived from childhood, the music that my mother and my family shared with me, which is rooted in gospel and soul. And then as my musical palette expanded, it dipped into jazz, and then rock, and then metal.
Okay.
And then it's all over the place.
Okay.
And so, whatever suits my taste. Deep house is mine.
Yeah, I saw you did some work with Diamond Dancer. I really like that. That track you all did. I forget the name of it. I can't think of it right offhand.
Somewhere else.
Yeah, somewhere else. That was it. Because it's the two that I use as a meditation sometimes. Somewhere else and Africa, home. Yeah.
Wow.
Those two. Because one thing you and Diamond's voice on a track, you have a resonance of like a sage resonance, like sage, when you use sage to clear the house or clear yourself or sage yourself or something like that. That's how you all, well, at least for me anyway. That's your voice is like that.
Wow. That's sweet.
Yeah. So I used those, and I had a whole house filled with that, and I'll be like, if I'm down or whatever, and I need to get out of some kind of funk or something, I'll be like, let me put this on, and I got several playlists with you guys' music on it, and along with a lot of other Detroit artists and whatnot, and I just bathe myself in the spirit of the city.
Wow, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
And thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Having said that, how connected should spirituality be to your craft, and why?
Spirituality manifests in a number of ways. For me, the way I write music is more or less a chronicle of my life, and spirituality is very important to me. I feel a connection to a higher power. I always have, and I let that energy flow through me, and I allow the lessons to come to me and flow through the music. Not to be overly preachy, but more or less just to chronicle the experiences and the lessons that I've learned just simply from living. I think musicians and artists are naturally tied into a spiritual source. And we tap into that inspiration however it manifests for us, and it comes through our art. I think it just happens naturally. I think that's just what it is. It's just a part of being an artist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow, that's deep. Yeah. So I'm gonna ask you this question that kind of connected to each other.
Okay.
So I'll ask you both of them together. When we share our art, do you think it's important to connect with our inner child. And with that question, I'm going to ask also, what is your favorite ice cream if you eat ice cream? And tell us how that journey began.
It is important to connect with our inner child. Maybe.
Okay.
That's an interesting question. Do I choose? I think I do. I honestly, yeah, I think I've never. I still view myself as a child.
Okay.
In many ways. When I consider, I tap into humility a lot.
Yeah.
And I believe that is a very honest and childlike characteristic to tap into. So when I want to get really real with something, I go there. I diffuse the ego, diffuse, all the other stuff that can muddle one's clarity, and I go there. So yeah, personally, yeah, I do tap into that, and that is very much associated with my childlike spirit, one that seeks to understand, one that's willing to be taught, one that's willing to learn. My childhood favorite ice cream, once upon a time it was my mom used to take me to Baskin Robbins all the time to reward. And my two favorites when I was a child was, I think it was called pink bubble gum, and it was like syrupy sweet ice cream with bubblegum bits in it, and that gave me great delight. And then I graduated to World Class Chocolate, and it was a mix of white chocolate and and regular chocolate, and it was just and that's still like one of my favorites. I don't do much ice cream much anymore, but if I ever have a desire for it, that's what I'm going for. I'm looking for Robbins, and I'm looking for that.
Yeah, that mine at Baskin Robbins was Jamocha almond fudge.
Oh yeah.
That was I was when I discovered that, I was that and coffee. Anything coffee, I don't care what it is. Coffee ice cream, coffee. That's how I was with that. So that's cool. That's cool. Let me ask you this: what do you think of the rise of women to their eminence in society as matriarch leaders?
I think it's super important and a very necessary movement. I think the world needs to strike a balance with the feminine energy. When I was a child, I was envious of boys.
Okay.
Envious that they could do whatever they wanted to do. And I was, as women, we're saddled with the rules and action lessons. At least that was my childhood. And I would have my moments when I could run wild and run free, but ultimately, I felt that I had to pander to men. I'm being very, very transparent here, but
I feel you.
But so this, I'm very pleased that there's this acknowledgement amongst women that we are powerful and necessary. That through us flows life, and it shouldn't be second. It shouldn't be played down as second nature. It is important and necessary. We bear life, and for me personally, as a woman that has never born a child from my body, but lay claim to another, a young woman that I call my daughter, it's important to understand that. It's important to understand the power of our minds, the power of our bodies, that there's strength in the gentle characteristics and patience and kindness. There's power in love and forgiveness, all of the gentle things that are often affiliated with women, that there's power in that, and there's healing in it, and it's necessary to understand it. It's also necessary for us to understand that we've got brawn too, and we can use it, and we can flex it, and we can push for equivalence in our society and around the world. So I hope I answered that question.
Yeah, I understand it. As my understanding, as I see it out, as I have observed the new rise of respect for women, because the balance of the patriarchy and the matriarchy has had its struggles,
Yeah.
and to be as euphemistic as I possibly could be, but everything that a woman has that we as men all want, all has a tasteful and a tasteless side to it, but what I gravitate towards is, as a man, just as a confession, I like everything. I like the sexuality. I like the intelligence. I like I'm attracted to boss ladies, because I like a little sass and somebody that's running something. It's like, I'm not a an imp or nothing like that. It's just I like the spirit of when something needed to be done, somebody gets it done. I like that in both men and women. As far as when I'm out here in the world working, I like somebody that takes charge. I may not take charge of anything except for my own situation, but I like to be in the background and just be like, hey, I'm run the show from here, but I like somebody to be a boss. I'm attracted to people that's running the show, and doing their own thing with their own rules and not compromising as long as they don't infringe on the integrity of another. I don't like abusers and haters, but I just like people that got their, for lack of better terms, got their shit together,
Yeah, right.
And so when they do, I'm like, I've studied a lot of people, and Detroit has so many emissaries that have gone out. They may not mention they're from Detroit when they get away from here or whatever, but when they do, you're like, wow, okay, I see, because Detroit has put out some bosses out there in the world, and you hear about them every day. They just, like they put their foot down and let you know, look, if something's not right, they make you get it right. And they say, hey, this is wrong, and I'm standing on this, and that's it, until you get it right. And it's like, wow, okay, yeah. And the rest of the world's like, oh, we better get that straight, So having said that, what is love and how should it be facilitated?
What is love and how should it be facilitated? Well, that's a big question.
Yeah.
Love is manifested in so many ways. I guess if, the best way to facilitate it is to be able, I guess, to read the proverbial room and to see if you're versed in the language of love, to be able to administer love however it will be best received. Hey, if you're one that needs tough love, you're hard headed and you need that tough love, then give it hard and rough.
Yeah.
If you're one that has not really received love and is put off by it, then slow and gentle. I have been introduced to a number of people that have not known love.
Okay.
That has never known unconditional love.
Okay.
And how kindness and warmth and love is interpreted as an angle.
Wow.
And I find that to be true for more people than not.
How so?
How so?
Yeah.
A lot of hurt people out here.
Okay.
A lot of people that are like missing kindness, that don't know it, and kindness has been used as a tool of manipulation. So I've been introduced of late to a number of people that just don't understand it, and misinterpret it. So it's really just a matter of reading the room. I strive to be real and direct with people, and switch up my communication style. Ultimately, it is to love people.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to switch up your language in order to get your point across.
Yeah. I've noticed that in your music you put out a very strong message of that in your music, your love and compassion and communication. One song that comes to mind and in particular is that's one of my favorites that I put on a playlist that I have. It's called I Believe in You. So what does it mean to believe in someone?
Well, when I wrote that song, it was a demonstration of unconditional love.
Yeah, I felt that.
It was and still is. I wrote it for my husband.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
It's so universal, though, the way you wrote it.
True.
True.
And it has touched a number of people. But it was something that I saw in him that he didn't see in himself.
Okay.
And the song was an ode to that. I really see you. And I guess that is the first step in really loving someone, is to see them, the good, the bad, but celebrate the things that maybe they don't necessarily see or understand about themselves. And to lift them up.
Yeah, I see that as a timeless classic, because it's a powerful song. The message that it has is universal, and anybody, male or female, I think, would be encouraged by hearing that if they have struggles, even if they don't have, say they've been discouraged about doing the thing or whatever, what have you. And listening to that song, I was like, wow, this is a powerful song. Because I try to listen to songs not always for what I want to get out of it, but connecting with the artist where they were.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of us, we think we want the artist to be where we want them to be. No, we have to meet the artist where they are in the vibe of what they produced. So just like Miles used to say, they used to say, why don't you play so and so? I say, well, you go get the album. Some of that is cool, and some of it is like, some people want to hear the energy from the person right then. But I think when you make a universal arrangement and piece like that, it's like, wow, it'll go down in history over time. Like, hey, man, this is something that is for the healing of the nations.
Word.
Yeah. So.
All of that. Yes.
Yeah. So, as a professional producer, performer, arranger, and artist, your arrangements are unique and phenomenal. As a producer myself, I think a lot of people in Detroit have encouraged me to get into doing the music. I don't really consider myself to be as great as some of the greats out there, but I've done my thing or whatever. But when I listen to your music, I listen to the nuance. I've learned to listen to the nuances as a producer of how you put it together, and listen to the details of particular instruments and whatnot and what have you. And so, what are some wise words you have to the creators out there?
Don't force it. Listen.
Okay.
Really, just listen. I have been producing for a long while now. Like close to 20 years now.
Okay.
And I don't consider myself a master. Still a student. But the most important lesson I've learned within the last 2 years is to listen and to hear where the song wants to go.
Okay.
You can, and I've experienced producing songs from jamming it out with a band to, producing it with a box, from the box.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not trying to force it to be something that it isn't. Not forcing or trying to equalize an instrument to be something that it isn't. Mm-hmm. To try to add elements that aren't there or subtract elements that actually should remain.
Okay.
I found that listening has given me so much more peace when it comes to mixing, which has been such a challenge for me. But I think I've found the harmony in it now, and I'm at peace with it, so that when I approach a song, if I'm mixing, if I'm adding other elements, if I'm vocalizing over it, or I'm adding instruments, is to listen and to add the frequencies that will enhance it and make it better, hopefully. So I guess that would be my feedback on producing.
Okay. And so, having said that, as a musician, how do you choose your instruments for the vibe? Is there a ritual or process or something?
No, it changes with every song.
Okay.
I'm emotional. I'm an emotional writer.
Okay.
And I feel the music intuitively. That's how it was was one of my ears, is to feel it in my gut, hear it and feel it in my gut, and respond from that instinct. It's not always necessary to. I'm decent at arranging vocals and stacking vocals, but sometimes you don't need a 20-layer stack of vocals. Sometimes maybe 3 will suffice. Maybe just one vocal. Really, whatever serves the song. that informs what type of instrument I put on a track.
Okay. 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 That's what's up. That's what's up. Your spirit is strong in your music. Tell us the key or pivotal parts of that journey, and what is the song or songs that are timeless inspirations to you?
Of my own catalog?
All encompassing, your own and others.
My own and others?
Yeah.
That is a tough one.
Okay.
It's tough because of my own catalog and of others' catalogs. I kind of keep my mind open and my ears open to whatever resonates with me in the moment.
Okay.
So
what's in the moment now?
Emily King, the music of Emily King.
Okay.
As far as like national independent acts.
Okay.
Excuse me. I'm working on new music, so those songs are in my head.
Okay.
I'm helping to launch other artists, so that music is in my head. But at the moment, there's nothing in my head.
Okay. Okay.
I don't have a song in my head, or any particular artist or music in my head.
Okay.
It's just quiet, and sometimes that's the best music.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Anything from the past that has inspired you to tell us the key or pivotal parts of your journey is in your creativity and music making?
One, understanding that I was musical. I didn't understand about myself when I started. It was like
What was the first instrument you picked up?
As a child, piano, guitar, harmonica. What else? Kazoo.
Strings and winds. Strings and winds.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't latch on to it until much later in life.
Okay.
When I really needed it.
Okay.
When I was down and needed a creative outlet to express myself, I picked up an acoustic guitar.
Okay.
And poured my soul out through it.
Did you teach yourself, or you got lessons?
Myself. I taught myself.
Wow, that's wonderful.
I sat down with it and plucked out notes and then chords and then melodies that were inspired by what was going on in my spirit.
Wow. That's cool, man.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
That's cool.
I'm taking music lessons now to learn what I didn't learn back then.
To learn what you were doing.
Some of the theory.
Yeah, you're learning what you were doing.
What's that?
You're learning what you were doing.
Exactly.
The technical aspect of what you were doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I have 2 more questions.
Sure.
How sacred is a mother's love?
Oh, absolutely sacred. Yeah, my mother is no longer with us, and her love still resonates in my heart. I can still feel her spirit and her energy. And her love gives me guidance. It gives me peace. And it's an honor to pay it forward. It's sacred.
Blessings. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Bringing back memories as I think about my mother, father, Yeah. Man. And I know sometimes you just wish you could have just one more phone call and be like, if they could catch up with where you are and be like, what do I do from here? Or what did you get all that? And see what they had to say, you just wish they could say, talk to them, and they're like, well, I think you need to do this and that and the other, and just, just like one thing, my mother, she was a woman of God, and is a woman of God, and I when she was getting ready to make her transition, I asked her, I was like, Mom, what advice would you give me as far as how to live? I thought she was going to hit me with a bunch of Bible verses and stuff like that. You know what she said? Enjoy life. And that was so powerful to me. It just took shackles off my brain. It took so many shackles off my brain that I was like, wow. Someone's on their deathbed, they're telling you, they don't give you a bunch of dogma or, philosophy or religion or spirituality or nothing. They just say, enjoy life.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's huge.
Yes.
It's huge. When my mom passed, it was an eye-opener. And her last year, I spent a year learning how she spent her last year of life. The conversations she had with people, how she resolved conflict. Those that she had conflict with, she resolved it. She paid off debts. And so through that last year, and then me kind of retracing her steps, taught me how to live and also taught me how to die.
Wow.
And she didn't squander a moment. When she realized how ill she was, she didn't squander it. She didn't take anything, any hard feelings with her to her grave. She resolved her issues, and she set me up as well.
Wow, that's very inspirational.
She was walking me. She's guiding me through her whole process of transitioning. It was a powerful yet painful moment, but powerful all the same. And I don't. I forgive quickly. I don't hold on to much. I try not to. I try to enter all relationships with peace, and I also do not squander my time. I'm always doing something. Always creating. It's important. Because we don't know how much time we have.
Right.
Enjoy life. That's a huge one.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Enjoy life. Do what you're going to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, thanks for sharing that. That was wonderful. That's very inspirational.
Oh, you're welcome.
To flourish, I return to the root of tranquility, my nature in constant clarity. I flow like a river flows, emptying again into itself. Knowing the sky, I soar into the emptiness of its heights, until I know again the darkness of the void, the life chamber of the lotus and the 10,000 things of its light. Knowing the hills, I nurture the valleys into mountains of accessible aspects. Whispered through the arms of trees, I know the secrets in the veins of the winds. Then the thunder rolls, the lightning strikes, seas come forth from the womb of nothingness, beginning again, the eternal ending of beginnings, to begin again. Seeing stars as ship's captains in the sea of mind, where no mind and time are one. Endless in the periphery of insight is the blindness of awareness, seeing with eyes beyond the vision of the heart that sees into the cognitive dissonance of sound, birthing thought into muses of random abstract, relative to instinct and oblivion. Here, bones are posted into the life essence of earth and color. Each of these and all together is and never was the nothingness of the all. The I am and I am not. Was and is, forever then and now, eternally being.
feel this way? What's so up? You can never be replaced. I struggle just to get on day to day. Oh, I'm filled with dismay. No words to equate the depth of loss I feel today. I sing, I cry, I question all the reasons why I grieve. I pray, wishing for just one more day. I laugh, I dance until I sink into a trance. I wish, I hope, until that day I'll see you on the flip side.
You are my friend.
Such a humble dude, yet a man of magnitude. You were a big damn deal, but always kept it real. Life goes on, more songs to come. I honor you, my friend, with a groove and a pen. Hope to help